Hello, welcome back to class. It's a joy to have you. It's good to see you once again. I'm sure you are following into details all we have been discussing in logic, starting from the meaning to the principles to the symbols, then to the benefits before we join straight in the second episode into argument, the types, deductive, inductive, and of course, everything we have discussed. So, this is the third edition, the episode 3, where we'll be looking at centrally fallacy and, of course, basic concepts in logic. However, before we journey forward, I'm going to please demand that for you to be able to journey with us on this scope, you might need to go and check the first episode and also the second episode. Now, welcome to class. This is Editor Scholar. So, we've been looking at different things in logic, and now we have come to something very important also, which is fallacy. We'll be looking at the meaning of fallacy and the different types of fallacy that we have before we go straight into the basic concept in logic. Now, the idea behind this is to help you and guide you so that after you are done in classes, you can have a place to come and sit and enjoy all these things. Peradventure, when they were doing it in class, we're not really following. Be rest assured you will get it in. So, what is fallacy? Generally in logic, fallacy can be defined as errors made in reasoning. Alright? So when we say what is fallacy, you can simply say it can be defined as errors made in reasoning. And this error could be maybe by general behavior of the one making the argument, or number two, by breaking some rules of reasoning. So we can say that fallacies are into parts, the formal fallacies and informal fallacies. But don't even bother about those ones. Just know that fallacies can simply be defined as errors made in reasoning. Errors, mistakes made in reasoning. So there are different types of fallacies that we'll be looking at, and because of our time, we have just decided to look into these 5. Maybe in the exam, they could likely tell you to define fallacies and to discuss some of the popular examples or the types of fallacy that we have. And that's why the first one we're going to be looking at is appeal to force. Remember we told you earlier that argument is a set of propositions made up of 2 parts, one as the conclusion and one as the premise. So, when a man is arguing and you discover that their premises are just combination and collection of falseful statements, you can be sure they're already committing fallacy. So when a man is reasoning or thinking and he begins to use force to give you some position, you can be sure this one is no longer argument. Why? Argument need not to be forceful or compelling. By itself, it should justify its case. So, appeal to force is a fallacy committed when the premises or the conclusion are laying emphasis on force rather than reasoning. When the statements or the premises are they are more forceful than just saying normal reasoning. For example, imagine I am a lecturer in class and I say, well, for me, okay, let me just use the popular one. I don't want to say politics, so it doesn't look like I'm taking a side. Let me just say Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi is the best footballer in the world. And I'm saying, if you don't believe this position, you are going to fail this course. So you are not making an argument, you are only forcing us. Or somebody can say, well, I want to make a point that everybody should vote for party ABC. And you say, why is that? Because you now say, because they are the one paying me. No, they could be paying, they could be the party in government. So it doesn't mean that we all should now vote for them because they are the one paying you. No, this one, when somebody is saying, premise 1, everybody should vote for party ABC premises because they are the sitting government and as such, they are the one paying us. Such an argument is called appeal to force. That person has not even given any rationality for you voting the party. All they are doing is appealing to force. So I'm sure that one is very clear over there. The second one is appeal to pity. And sincerely yours, lawyers, again, I'm coming for you, because anytime you see a lawyer, essentially what they are doing is they are only appealing to pity in most times. Are we saying they don't set records straight? They do that. But you can be very sure that a lawyer is taking up a case, a man who confesses that, okay, he committed an atrocity or maybe embezzlement of funds, and still lawyer will say, don't worry, I can come and talk on your behalf. What lawyers are doing is that they want to come and appeal to pity. So appeal to pity is a fallacy committed when we leave the basic demands of reasoning and we begin to appeal to the emotion or the pity or the interest of the one that we are arguing before. So it's not even about rationality. It's now you are just craving, you are looking for pity, for them to accept you and what you are saying, not because of rationality, but because of pity. Let me give you an example. You're going to understand better. Imagine a lawyer standing before a judge, and this lawyer is representing a guy who has been convicted of probably raping or stealing or many of those criminal acts. And the lawyer is coming to stand before the judge saying, my lord, please, my client is just 22 years old. He lost his father when he was 6. He lost his mother the following year. He has been sleeping under the bridge since 12. No relative to take care of him. He has been poor all his life. He has been wandering through life by himself. Nobody to check on him. He is an orphan. No purpose, no destiny. This one he has committed is not him. It is the situation surrounding him. I beg you, tamper justice with mercy. When you hear such a statement, you can be sure that the lawyer is not appealing to rationality. All the lawyer is appealing to is pity. So the next one is appeal to ignorance. Now this fallacy is committed when one is laying claim on something because that thing has not been proven to exist or not exist. For example, if you say, I'm not even sure anybody should take God's existence seriously. After all, nobody has proven his existence. In such a case, what we are saying is that person is committing fallacy of appeal to ignorance. That something has not been proven does not mean it does not exist. It could exist or it might be existing. However, when somebody says that, don't take it seriously because that thing has not been proven, what we are going to say is you are committing a fallacy of appeal to ignorance. And that's why sciences in most times they fall into this category. Alright, because some things are not reducible to matter, because some things are not reducible to what they can touch, hypothesis, observation, testing, and the results. If something like maybe God, or even somebody can say, don't even believe anything called angel, don't even believe in spiritual world, because nobody has been there before. This appeal to ignorance is committed when one is no longer appealing to reasoning, but one is appealing to something that has not been proven. Now, scientists fall into this category because for them, whatever is real must be material. They must first of all observe, then to hypothesis, to testing, then to results. However, some things have not been proven, but that does not mean they don't exist. So, people go before the judge or court and they say, well, this woman did something on this woman, and the following day, this happened to this woman. And somebody can say, what is this that you're talking about? Are these things real? That we don't know they are real or they are not real does not mean they don't even exist. If you argue on such lane, they will say you are committing appeal to ignorance. Next one, because of our time, is argument against the man. This is when we leave rationality and we begin to attack the one making arguments. For example, a man who is like a drunkard can come and make a claim about God's existence, and he will say nobody should even take Mr. ABC seriously about his claim that God exists. After all, he's a drunkard. Nobody should look at the one arguing. All we should look at is the argument. For example, somebody can say, don't even take the advertisement of celebrity XYZ seriously about that drug. After all, he's collecting money for it. That somebody is collecting money for it does not mean they can't even argue for that particular thing. So when we begin to make such claim, we are only doing argument against the man. It is also called a fallacy. And finally, it's appeal to emotion. This one also, not even appealing to reason. All you are looking for is to buy their obedience. You are trying to buy their interest. You are trying to massage their mind to accept whatever you are saying. This one is not about reasoning. It's simply saying you are making a point that you just want people to follow and to accept it. For example, when you say everybody in this school knows that this department is the best department. They have won this, they have won that, they have won this. Therefore, nobody should argue against the fact that this is the best department. Now, as good as it suggests, what you are doing, your premises also suggest that you have tried to appeal to their emotion. Why not just set record straight and allow them to decide? So these are the different types of fallacies. There are many black and white fallacies, causal effects, and many other ones. But this is where we will leave it for today. Remember, if you have any question, you want me to set other examples of anyone, please let me just know in the comment section, and be rest assured, immediately we will respond to your question. And if there's any other fallacy you have read about and you want us to talk about, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Now, let's talk about basic concepts in logic. Of course, every discipline, every topic has the basic concept. And what do we call concept? Concepts are units of a whole. All right, it will make us be able to come to terms with the whole. So concepts are the different small units, smaller circle that will make us be able to understand the big one that we are looking at. These are a few examples of the basic concept in logic. And because of time, get ready. And also in exams, I suggest, or I think they may just put up all these things for you and tell you to write short but meaningful notes on them. Short but meaningful. Alright, so what is facts, or what are facts? Facts can simply be defined as universal truths. Facts are universal truths. Or we call them facts are objective truths. It's either universal truth or objective truth. So what do we mean by that? It means when we call something a fact, it means it has been proven and accepted by everyone all over the world. So for your short and meaningful notes, so fact can simply be defined as universal truth or objective truth or objective beliefs. So what are examples of facts because of our time? For example, a fact is all men are mortal. All men are mortal is a universal fact. Nobody can deny that all men are mortal. Okay, so I'm going to just give us some examples of facts. Number one, all men are mortal. Also, number two, another example of fact is all bachelors are unmarried. Because now, this is fact. There must be a very close relation between the word and the feature. For example, bachelor by itself means an unmarried young person. So man or men, naturally they are mortal men. They die. For example, when I say a dozen is 12, is a fact. Alright, another example is to say water boils at 100 degrees centigrade is a fact. So these are examples of facts that we must come to terms with. So the next one, because of our time, don't forget, facts are universal truth or objective belief. So the second one is opinions. And what are opinions? Opinions are personal beliefs or subjective beliefs. Opinions are personal or subjective beliefs. This one is not about everybody, it's just about what you feel, your opinion, your mind about a matter, and that's why we call it personal beliefs or subjective belief. It's about you, the one making the claim. Example of opinion is to say, in my opinion, Nigeria is the best nation in the world. It's your opinion, and most times nobody even question because it's an opinion. You could say, in my opinion, all men are beautiful. It's your opinion. Nobody will even fight it as much as possible, and that's why they're about you and you alone. So the next one is inference. No, there are many examples. Anything you have, for example, you can say, for me, President so has been the best president in Nigeria so far. His opinion. You can say, for me, the university of this is the best in the world. Its opinion. So you can say, for me, Drogba is the best footballer in Africa since whatever. It's your opinion, and it will be taken for it. Next one is inference. Inference can simply be defined as a claim arrived at by truth, reasoning, and evidences. So, inference can be defined as truth arrived at by reasoning or evidences. Alright, so this is what they call inference. For example, it's like what you say, deduction, arriving at an opinion or a thought, all from reasoning. You are inferring that, so which is what we have been doing in the last episode on argument. So when you say if A equals to B, then you can also say B equals to A. Is an you are inferring. Alright, you are just saying if A plus equals this, then this equals this. It is just saying what you arrived at, not just by guesses, but by reasoning or with evidences. That's what we call inference. What are assumptions? Assumptions are guesses. You're only assuming. This one, it might not even be your personal opinion. You could just, I'm just guessing. Alright, you could just assume that I assume that this and this and this is your personal, alright, guesses. Assumptions are guesses awaiting testing. Assumptions can simply be defined as guesses or hypotheses awaiting trial to be confirmed to be either true or false. So anytime you say assumption, that assumption is just a statement or guesses awaiting testing to either be confirmed true or false. That's what assumption means. So note all these ones as much as possible. Once again, assumptions are statements, alright, that are waiting testing to either be confirmed true or to be identified as being false. That's what we call an assumption. And finally is a syllogism, and I think we have discussed syllogism earlier when we say syllogism is a type of an argument that has two premises and one conclusion. We said it's a type of an argument having two premises and one conclusion. And don't forget what I told us. Example of that, in most times, a standard argument must be a syllogism in most times. For example, remember our P1, alright, and P2, then our conclusion. So P1 could be all men are mortal. Alright, so John is a man, and therefore John is a mortal. This one here is a standard argument form, alright, and it is also a syllogism. Why? It has two premises and of course conventionally one conclusion. So these are some of the basic concepts in logic. However, if there's anyone you have read about and you want us to discuss together, drop it in the comment section. Immediately we're going to attend to it as much as possible. If you have any question also, please use the comment section. If you want to have any, you want us to take up any topic again or any theme or any idea in logic, please use the comment section and you can be sure we're going to respond to you as much as possible. Thank you very much for joining the class. Remember to subscribe now. Just do that. Subscribe now. And number two, make sure you share with your friends so they can also enjoy what you're enjoying. We are convinced that by the time you follow these 3 episodes, you'll be able to come to terms and come to terms and unravel the depth and of course the scope of logic as much as possible. Thank you very much. Remember, turn up your notification button also so that when we drop any content, you can easily see and enjoy class away from class in your home and anywhere you prefer. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much for joining. See you in the next class. Bye for now.